So after the awareness, we did the 20 push-ups for, I don't know, what was it, a couple years ago. We brought the awareness, and after the awareness, we need to bring the action. And this is my attempt of bringing the action. I lost two guys in the last year, and I don't know what else to do. So here we are having a conversation. Everything I can think of that has brought us to, or that brings people to that point to where they want to end their story, I would like to talk about, whether it's finances, whether it's relationships, whether it's, I'm a bad parent. Let's have that conversation, and we're gonna do that over, some tea. Over some tea. But with me today, I have a good friend of mine, Sam.
Hello.
So tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Samantha Justice. I am a business owner. I'm a cosmetologist and barber. And I'm also a model. I've been doing the modeling thing for about 5 years or so, I think. And then I've been doing hair for 8. I just opened my business 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and it's been going good. I've expanded into a bigger building, and I have someone working with me, and then I lease the space in the back to a tattoo shop, and so it's kind of like I have my hand in all the alternative stuff. It's pretty cool. I just turned 32 last week, and that's a weird. I don't know. I just feel 32, like
It's a big step.
I used to think this was old when I was, even like a senior.
Seasoned. We're seasoned.
Seasoned, I like that. But yeah.
So, like, how are you? Like, actually, not the I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, I guess is what I would say. The last couple days and the last week have been very strange for me, mental health wise. And have you ever like your house is a mess or your car's a mess and then you feel crazy? And that's kind of how I feel right now, just because I got back from Laughlin for my trip, and then just been go, go, go. I have a lot going on the next 2 weeks for my business and not really my personal life. I don't have much going on. But yeah, it's a lot. So I'm all right. Spending time with my dogs really helps. I'll tell you that. I have 2 dogs. They're pretty cool, dude. One of them's 10. His name's O-Dog. And my other one is just about to turn 3. His name's Kobe, and he's like Ferdinand the Bull. That's about all I can say about that. And but they're awesome, man. They're awesome dogs, and they save my life every day. I swear, especially on hard days, like I was saying,
So, what made you like choose doing hair and modeling versus doing a regular 9 to 5?
It's funny you say that, because I never really experienced the 9 to 5 ever. I was like, I've done being a nanny. I've worked at Michael's. I worked at Fry's baking, like overnight baking. I've been a bartender. I've done some other stuff in bars. And so that 9 to 5 just has never really been that way for me. And I'm grateful for that. But, I've worked for a lot of less than satisfactory bosses. And because I've done so many things, being that, bakery and bartending and working with old people and working with kids and all of these things, like it, I feel like I have to go where my heart goes. And for me, it's a job or a career really has to feel like home to me for me to really want it. And I guess that's kind of why I stayed in hair, because I've done this longer than I've done anything else, and I love it because I get to be there for people, like you were saying, like just another friend to, assist in the hard times and things like that. I never thought that I would have employees. I thought it was just going to be me by myself. So now that Carl likes to call me, hey, that's my boss. That's my boss. And I'm like, can you not call me that? Like, I don't enjoy that term personally. And I don't know if that's like I don't know. Like
You became the boss out of necessity rather than.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it just kind of happened. It all fell together. That's one thing that I've noticed with this shop. Like everything happens in divine timing, whatever that means. You know what I mean? And to just be able to have such a beautiful business and such a beautiful space, and be able to provide a place for people to just be themselves. I was just talking to one of my customers about this today, and he was saying how he loves the space so much. You know, it feels comfy. It feels safe in there. My property manager too, she'll come over every once in a while and she'll just sit on the couch and she's like, I need to relax. And this is where I can relax here on this whole property. And she'll just come sit there on my couch. And she's like, the vibe in here is just so good, you know? And that was really my goal going into opening a shop by myself, because I've worked with people in the hair business, whether they do hair or not, that I learned what to do and what not to do sometimes, you know? And so applying those things has all led me to being the team leader. That's a good way to put that, at the shop. And, you know, I did build this business by myself. Like I didn't go out asking a bank. I didn't ask my parents. I didn't, you know, really ask anybody for anything except, you know, when I was painting my shop the first time, a bunch of my friends came out and helped me paint, and I bought pizza for them. You know what I mean? Like that's about it.
Like a good boss. Good bosses buy pizza.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. It just, the 9-to-5 thing, I don't think was ever going to work for me. I have ADHD, number one. So sitting somewhere from 9 to 5 would drive me crazy. Or I was right out of high school. I was supposed to go into the military, and then some things happened in my life that I just, some other recreational activities became more important than having a career, you know, building a life. So yeah, I think I was just built for it, made for it.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing good where you're at.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't know how you manage all the social media accounts that you have. It's like, I just saw this story like 2 seconds ago. Where was that at?
That's hard. And then people, you know what, the craziest part about that is, like, especially because during the workday, I work with my hands. I'm a barber and a cosmetologist, right? So my hands are always busy. And so like when people will try to hit me up or they'll call me or whatever, and sometimes I can't pick up the phone because I have color on my hands, or you know, I'm doing a shave or something and it has to be done right then. And so sometimes people will either they'll see me doing stuff on social media and think that I have free time, and I'm like, this is scheduled into my day. Like I hate it, but to live and to survive in business in today's society, you have to take social media and really make it work for you. If that makes sense.
Oh no, I 100% see
Yeah.
that. I know that I'm going to have to get a whole bunch of social media that I don't plan on getting, just to put this out there that way. And I mean, it's not even to, I'm just hoping that I can save a life. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end goal, is to save someone's life.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it even helps, you know what I mean? Well, this is the thing is I've, just because I'm a barber in a military town, I get a lot of Marines, right? And so I've had friends years ago when I was bartending that were Marines that I got real close with. And so, it's kind of like growing up in a military town, you end up being somehow friends with a Marine or two, or a lot, like I have, only because they sat in my chair for so long. You know, and so it's almost like when someone's having a bad time, or like they're really going through it in their head, I can feel it and I can see it on their face, just because it's like, I don't know if they're taught to like, I have to be hard and I can't show my feelings. And, you know, a lot of people, like one of my very good friends, he likes to, I love you, friend. If you see this, I love you. But he likes to make jokes. Sometimes he'd be like, oh, you make me want to kill myself. And I'm like, can you not say that? You know what I mean? And I get it. It's a joke for some people, but I just don't see the humor in it. Because I've lost so many people, due to, it may not be military, but I chose, like I said, to do some recreational activities that became more important than anything else. And so because of that, I've lost a lot of people to drug overdose and suicide just because they lost themselves. And how do you deal with that? I don't know. It's tough. It's a hard thing to think about.
Yeah, it's I know a lot of people that are just hanging on. And when I started putting out, hey, I'm doing a podcast for this specific reason, like the amount of people who are like, you know what, I've been looking for something like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know who I'm going to impact, but all I do know is that one person's enough.
Right. Somebody, I love when people send me, because I'm not really a fan of just sitting and like scrolling through social media, though I will doom scroll every once in a while.
What is a doom scroll?
When you get stuck, like you're not doing anything productive, but you're just watching and liking, you know what I mean? Just for like an hour straight. Like when you sit on the toilet and you get all distracted on Facebook and then your legs go numb. So that's a doom scroll.
I'm a shitty doom scroller. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm gonna add that to my resume or something.
I don't know. I do it. Dude, it's like at least 2 times a week I doom scroll in the bathroom in my lane. I can't even walk, it's terrible.
Damn.
Yeah. But what were we talking about? We were talking about social media.
Becoming getting on a bunch of social medias, how you manage them. I have to schedule it in. Like, just like I put in my appointments for the shop, I have to schedule that in or I forget. Like, just like I said, I have ADHD real bad. And so I know the routines that I need to have, and what I should be doing to help myself. But sometimes I just don't, I get distracted, and I have been noticing recently, I've been a lot more active on my social medias, but I don't know what's going up with Instagram and their little bots or whatever, but they're like making my one page, my modeling page, just like the numbers are declining, my followers, but my insights, like the engagement and all of that sort of stuff is way up. So I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on here. And learning all that, like, I think that's part of the algorithm and stuff. Learning all that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? But I make sure every morning, and this is part of my routine that I've like made sure I do. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, I have this app. It's called Third Eye. And it'll give you an affirmation for every day, like a new one every day. And so as I'm getting ready, like I'll get out of bed and do my little stretching, make my bed, go over to the mirror and brush my teeth, wash my face. And then I'll look at what the affirmations say. And I say it like, I'll read it. And then I read it looking at myself, and then I post that same thing on all of my social medias. So number one, it's a positive right off the bat in the morning. It's a positive thing I'm intaking. And then also giving away on my social media. Now, some people see it, some people don't, whatever. Those who are meant to see it will, if that makes sense. Yeah.
But then throughout the day, that's the hard thing. And you know what, Cara, speaking of, she's amazing. She has a second job, and part of that is being a social media manager for a small business here in town. And so her learning all of that has helped me ginormously, just because she practices it for her own, her own business benefit, but she works for me. So obviously I'm going to post all her stuff, and try to get her people and try to get her page attention so that she can get more clients coming in and, all that stuff, client retention.
So with all the social medias and the jobs and the modeling, like you don't have any personal time. So what are you doing for dating now? Well, I guess that answers it.
Yeah, so I had posted something on one of my social media pages the other day, and it says something about it doesn't matter if you break up with the ex if you don't break up with the pattern. And I was like, how dare you? I did not come here to be attacked. And, you know, so really like taking accountability for my own, like, am I ready to date? Like, am I at this moment providing what I would require? Because this is in anything, you cannot ask for anything that you're not willing to provide yourself, you know, and sometimes people need a little pat on the butt to get them somewhere. But I don't know, just me. I've been knocked down so often and pulled myself back out of shit by myself so often that it's like, I don't really need anybody. Number one. Except I do have really, really good friends, like a very close, tight knit group of people. And it's not even really people that know each other. I just have my people, you know? And, so like for me to bring anybody into my life, it's just like, and I've heard I sound selfish when I say this, but if you aren't providing what I provide to myself at the very least, I don't got no time for you.
So when you say that, because I have friends and obviously been single for a while, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll hook you up with one of my friends, but they don't like cheap guys. It's like, what do you mean they don't like cheap guys? So their response is, if you're not helping me pay my bills, then I don't need you. Like the whole Beyonce thing. Like, well, first off, I'm paying my own bills. Like, I'm not. I'll pay for dinner. I don't have a problem paying for the date. But I'll be damned if I'm paying for your fucking electricity bill. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So for someone to tell me that, oh, my friends don't like, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Maybe I'm being the ass.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't call it what you want to call it.
You know,
I'm not going to fucking do it.
I completely agree with you there, right? And like, so I was just having this conversation with Cara a couple weeks back. Like, there are different kinds of people. Miranda Lambert has a song, All Kinds of Kinds. And like, I'm very grateful for that. Number one, because there are so many things that need to be done in our world, and so many things that, there's just so many differences. Everybody's so unique that it's just, I'm glad we have all these different kinds of people, right? But for me, especially speaking of like, since the sugar baby thing has gotten so, the sugar baby, sugar daddy, all that stuff, right, has gotten so big. And like, I'll even say sometimes on my Snapchat, I have a Snapchat, I literally, I don't answer anybody. Yeah, like literally, unless I see a ding go off on my Cash App, I don't answer. And the reason for me is just because, like you said, I'm involved in so much that if I'm going to take the time to be rinky-dink messaging with someone all day, like, you can have my attention, but if I don't know you and I'm not your homie and like all those things, you're going to have to give me some sort of mutual benefit, whether that be take me out to eat food, and most of these people, especially the people like on Snapchat, I don't really want to talk to in person. So it's really like, you're going to send me some money on the Cash App and then I'll message you back like I'm your fucking Snapchat girlfriend or some shit, you know? And that's just what I find that men come to me for, which is probably part of the modeling thing, you know, and the kinds of photos that I put out, which, I mean, if people really knew me, I am like, that's definitely a persona that I get to play when I'm in public at shows, that I love being that, but I love this me too. You know what I mean? And I love this me quite a bit more than I like the persona that I have to uphold in front of people, especially when I'm at a show dressed a little sexy, because then if I don't stay on my toes and really pay attention to my surroundings, people like to take advantage, and I've had to correct some people on the way that the things that they say or whatever. And, you know, a lot of girls in these day and age would just be like, oh, ha, 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 he's just being funny. And I'm just not a fan of my boundaries being pushed, number one. And also I'm not a fan of like that machismo fucking my dick is bigger than yours stuff. I'm not a fan of it. And so I'll check it because you might be able to talk to another female that way, but you're not going to talk to a woman like me that way. Not going to happen, you know?
So how long have you been modeling? What
Modeling?
What are the challenges that you've had doing the whole modeling thing?
I mean, when you first start, you're doing everything for free, right? Like for the most part, you're taking your time, your gas, your energy. You're buying your clothes, you're buying your makeup, doing your hair, all of those sorts of things, and going to these giant, whether it be events like mansion parties. A lot of the time they'll do like power shoots is what they call them. And there'll be like 10 photographers and like 20 models or, you know, I mean, I've gone to some that are smaller than that. But it's like just a huge mashup of content creators. And so, like it does get costly at first. If modeling is something you want to chase, go for it, baby. But know that it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost a lot of time. Like, until you get really like your foot in the door somewhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another challenge is like what I was saying, people thinking they can speak to you however they want, you know, or photographers. And I haven't experienced this with many photographers, but there has been a couple. And actually in the like photography modeling scene in Arizona that I kind of go in, a lot of people have been talking about this. But like photographers, basically claiming models, not paying them, but being like, oh, well, if you want to work with her, you're going to have to ask me first. And it's like, you don't fucking pay me. What do you mean? Someone has to ask you. Oh yeah, dude. My friend, Shot by Shan, dude, he's a down ass homie and a great photographer and a great shit talker. Two things that need to be said, you know, and there's no filter on that one. I mean, some people say I have no filter, but my homie he's crazy, but I love him dearly, you know? And so that's a big thing. Or the photographers being fucking creeps and trying to get at the girls or taking the crotch shots. The crotch shots is what gets me when there's like a creepy dude with an iPhone. He's like, I'm a photographer. Did you see my Instagram page? And it's like 200 followers. And it says shot on iPhone on every fucking photo. And it's like chicks like, and they shoot from like the worst area. There's so many ways where you can pose and move and cover yourself for that not to happen. And some of these dudes they'll take tons of photos like that. And like, I mean, some of them are great too. Some of the photos that they get might be good photos, but they're just like, what are you doing with all those?
Yeah.
You know, and then a big problem that I found with a couple people is I would go and do these shoots and spend my time and energy and doing my hair and my makeup. Hair and makeup is expensive, you know, and then buying outfits and shoes.
Can't do hair and makeup.
It's fucking cheap, man. And then you put sunglasses on, it's all good. It's like guys' makeup.
There was a photographer that I heard that was here locally that I heard was doing some shady shit. And by that face, I think I know who. I think you know what I'm talking about. I haven't heard about him in a while, and I don't even know if he got charged with anything. But I remember there was a video that came out, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on with this?" Like here I was, like, "Oh yeah, I take decent pictures."
Okay, wait, was it? Tell me more details. What about it? Because I just want to make sure before I open my mouth that it's the same situation.
Supposedly he was drugging girls. Mm-hmm. And then taking advantage of them.
I mean, maybe I don't know if this has happened more times, but I used to be well acquainted with somebody who got accused of that. And when that all went viral and came out about whatever he did, whatever those dudes did with whoever it was, wherever they were at, I 3 months prior to that had ended my friendship because There was a lot of recreational uses going on that I didn't agree with. Like I said, I left that behind years ago. You know, I got clean, luckily, September 15th of 2015. And so I'm super grateful for that. And I, you know what? And I tell people, like, if that's a part of your life, that's cool, but you're not going to be in my life, you know? And so a lot of that started to happen, and it just wasn't a conducive environment for me. And so I backed off from that. And actually, when that whole thing went viral, I was camping with my then boyfriend up in like above Flagstaff. There was zero service where we were at, nothing, no bars, which I love, by the way. Off the grid camping's my fave. But when I hit Flagstaff, my phone like
blew up
for an hour and a half straight. It did not Facebook, Snapchat, calls, messages, like just went wild. And I saw what those people, what was being said about those people and the girl and all of that stuff. Now I don't even know that girl's name, whoever it was. I don't know what happened because I wasn't there, and I stopped being friends with him publicly. Like, I went on Instagram and was like, I do not associate myself with such and such, you know? And it was crazy. Like, before that happened, and this is just me being like straight up honest. I used to like kind of make jokes about people who were like, oh, internet bullying is so bad. Whoop de wop. Like, I was, oh, come on, crybaby. You know what I mean? But then I experienced it myself, you know, because all that story went viral. And so people would look at that person's Instagram and see that he had photos of me. They didn't look when they were posted, what else was posted. They didn't come look on mine to see when was the last time that, you know, there was a post, and they couldn't have anyways, because when I, you know, pushed off from them, I deleted everything I had that had anything to do with them also, so that, you know, there was no cross contamination. Yep, exactly. And so when all of that happened, it was like people from New York and fucking England, and I mean, just all over the United States. And there was people messaging me, and I was followed to the gym a couple times, and they're like, hey, I was going to the complex at that time, and some person followed me, and they were like, hey, you're that guy's friend, huh? And I was like, no, dude, like, number one, how do you know who I am and where I fucking go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, number one? But like, how did something that happened on the internet get to my life right in front of me? Like, you know, and then people were just saying these terrible things to me. And there was like people DMing me, I hope you fucking kill yourself. You protecting a rapist. You're a piece of shit. Like, all these fucking things. And it was constant all day. And then there was people that somehow somebody got my phone number, and they were like prank calling me and telling me like, oh, just horrible things, you know? And I never really had anybody like show up to my home or anything like that, but it was just strange coincidences that happened. And so I no longer say anything about internet bullying, because that it truly can get really bad. And that shit led me to a really dark place. And I don't ever want to feel like that again. And I hope that none of the people I love and care about, number one, that happens to, but would never do that to somebody, you know, without knowing the full story. And that's the thing. The locals weren't the ones doing that.
It's all the out-of-town people.
Yeah. And then whoever that guy was that approached me at the gym, I have no idea. I wasn't trying to have a conversation. I just got in my truck and left.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was a wild time. That was a couple years ago. I think that was like during the whole COVID craziness. I think it was back in 2020. Pretty sure.
And I guess it's a crazy modeling story, but like third party to you, like not necessarily.
And that's another thing. People were like, you didn't even say anything. You're protecting him, la, la, la. And I was like, all right, I'll call the police department right now. I'll tell you that. How about that? Because then nobody can say that I didn't fucking do but I called them and I was like, look, I'm getting accused of this, and this. People are fucking coming after me online. So let me just tell you what I know about him, and then we're done with this. And I talked to a detective and I was like, look, I haven't spoken to him. I don't know anything about him the past 3 months. This is what I know. Here it is. And I'm out of here, you know, cause I was tired of people coming after me. They didn't even know me. And I had already like left all that behind, you know? And so it was like, like you said, the people that didn't know me just calling me like a rape protector. Like that's crazy. Yeah. No, I could never wear that hat ever.
So what stories do you have personally that don't involve like
someone else like that?
Yeah.
You know what? And that's the thing is that's something that I learned at the beginning of my career. And so now to even like, if I'm going to work with a new photographer, especially if it's not a photographer that number one of my friends have worked with, or number two, somebody that doesn't have a good reputation, like I mean, a lot of the time, like when I go onto Instagram and there's a photographer that's reached out to me that wants to work with me, number one, I'm going to go to their page. What kind of photos do they do? What's the quality of them? How do their models look? You know, all of those sorts of things. What do their edits look like? And so, I mean, it's not like, I mean, to a point you have to judge somebody based off their social media, you know? And so, I just make sure that like, number one, I never, ever, ever, ever go to any shoot alone, ever. You know, whether I have a girl or a man with me, I do not show up to a photo shoot alone. That's number one, should be number one rule, because it's fucking scary out there. People will take advantage, especially photographers will take advantage of a model so quick, especially if you're like at some, like a distant place from where, you know, you live or whatever. If he's a complete stranger, you don't even know him at all. I lost my track of thought.
So what other advice you have for up and coming models?
You know, I would say biggest thing is know exactly who the fuck you are. That's the biggest thing. Know exactly who you are. Don't stray from that. Don't like, I don't know. We're in such a weird world that it's like everybody is getting plastic surgery or Botox, lip injections. I mean, all the things like, and that's cool. If that's what you want to do, if that's going to make your mental health better, if that's going to make your self-confidence better, you go baby and do that. But you don't have to go and do all that. You don't have to go do all that. And also, there's no, I don't know, for me, it's just anti everything inside of me to pretend to be something I'm not, you know? And especially when I started doing like the car show modeling, I kind of lost myself and I was, you know, I felt like after a while I was chasing what photographers and you know, event coordinators and stuff like that. I was kind of tending to what they wanted to see in a model instead of just being my fucking self. And I think that's number one reason why I wanted to show up like this today, because this is who I am. And do I like to get dressed up and go and be the center of attention for like a little bit and get all pretty yeah, I do every once in a while. But that's only like 5% of what I really enjoy doing with my life, you know? I would much rather be in the middle of nowhere, possibly haven't taken a shower for 3 days and I'm sleeping in a tent with my dogs, you know? Like I just enjoy being exactly who I am. And I know that social media wants to tell you that you're not cool enough if you don't have all the fucking things, but you do have all the fucking things and you're cool just exactly like you are. And you don't got to be all the things. But I didn't know that. You know, it's taken me
there to tell you all the rules of the road before.
I did everything myself. I was invited out by a photographer to Arizona Super Show 2018, I think. was my first show. It might have been 17, but I think it was 18. Somebody invited me out and I didn't know what I was doing. It was like my first that's a big show. There's thousands of people there, at the time that was a lowrider sanctioned show. And so, all the best cars and the best artists and the best brands and all the best models were all there. And I just felt like so small to be in this big fishbowl, with all these people. And I don't know, if I were to be able to go back, I would definitely do some things different, but I'm also grateful for the things I've learned, because then how I wouldn't know if I didn't learn it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I've seen you've been posting a lot in the gym here lately. Like, what are your, you doing that for mental health? Or
Yes.
just trying to take a
Yes.
break from the posting on all the social medias, or?
Yeah. And that's the thing is I don't like posting while I'm at the gym. Like, I know that it could get my page a lot of attention and I could use a lot of it for content and shit like that. But I like, the gym is my time. Like, that really is, it's like my church. That's where I can lose myself. And I have these big ass, like these ones. They're the, skull candy, like the ones where you can turn the bass up and down and you can like adjust all the things. And so I put those on and I just zone out. Like, that is where I'm allowed to be, do, say, think, whatever I want, and number one, I hate when people fucking talk to me when I'm at the gym. I hate that. I don't know if you've experienced it, but like, you'll be doing a set and then somebody will come up and tap you on the shoulder. It just,
I don't know if you've seen me, but I don't do the gym.
You've never done the gym?
I'd rather go run.
Oh, okay. Ew.
Oh yeah, I used to run like 8 miles a day.
No, thank you. I'm not a runner at all. If you see me ever running, Mo, you better fucking run too. Because whatever's behind me is scary as shit.
No, I used to run a lot. I used to run for mental clarity. I remember I used to get in fights with my ex-wife, and I would go run.
Oof, I've never been married for that reason.
I would just zone out. I don't even know if I had music back then. It was just the cadence of my feet and the pavement.
I can understand that.
And I was just gone. I would just be lost in whatever I was, and then I'd come back because I'm not very confrontational. I remember getting in fights. I would write down stuff like, "Hey, this is everything that I'm feeling. Here's a letter. I'm out."
Yeah.
Because there's too many times where I've been like, this is what's going on, and I start to talk, and then there's an interruption, and then before you know it,
Arguments ensue.
and then you don't even get your point across what you really had to say. So I would write a letter and I would go for a run. And by the time I came back from a run, the letter was read, and then it was automatically into that next phase of, it wasn't an argument anymore. Hey, this is now I understand, and we can move past that moment.
That is such a good idea. Because, I was dating this one guy years and years ago at the end of, like, right before I moved to Washington. And actually I moved to Washington with that guy, but my sponsor at that time, she would tell me that, when you're about to get into an argument or when you're already feeling irritated and the conversation, whatever it is, whether it be your spouse or coworker, family member, whatever, when it's ceased to be productive, use what do they call, like a safe word? You know what I mean? But say something, come together and figure out something that you can say where it's like, pause. We need time away from each other. I need to calm down. You need to calm down. We both need to gather our thoughts and come back. But writing a letter is brilliant.
Because that letter is going to tell you everything that I'm feeling, and then I get it all out in one. It takes me 10, 15 minutes to write.
Exactly.
There's no 3-4 hour argument. And that's it. And
you know what I find writing letters too, or writing, whether that be journaling or writing letters or, writing a post every once in a while, if there's something that heartfelt that needs to be said or something I feel I need to say, I'll write it down. And every single time, even if, especially when I journal, sometimes my first sentence is, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to write about, but here I am, and so I'll sit there for a minute and then I'll just start writing whatever comes to mind. And I guess someone said that's a brain dump. I just learned that word. I still don't know exactly what that means because I just write whatever comes to mind or heart or soul, you know? And I always figure out what I'm actually feeling because my brain will lie to me and say that I'm angry when really I'm whatever. I'm hurt. I'm fearful. I'm scared. Things like that. Anger always anything negative always leads back to fear, you know? And so that's another thing that, like, if I let my hand go wild, right, and just write and write and write, sometimes I'll end up with like 10 pages, you know, and I look back and I'm like, fuck, how long have I been here? It's 12:30 at night and I've been journaling since 10, you know? But it just helps. And then to be able to write that down and to give it to your, especially a partner, because there's no guessing about a letter. Like, this is black and white. This is what I feel. There's no room for argument. Like, here you go. This is where I'm at. Where are you? That's brilliant.
I don't even know why I started doing that. And I take that back. I know why. Because we got in an argument one time and I didn't get out what I wanted to get out. The reason for me being upset or whatever it was, I wasn't able to get out what I needed to get out. So I figured if I wrote this letter, then you're going to read it.
Right.
And then you're going to understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
Because a lot of the letter is just rambling, but there's a couple key points in there. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
You have all this bullshit,
Yeah.
but now I understand.
Yes.
And I don't know why. Like I said, I didn't want to fight with my wife at the time. So
I fucking hate fighting. That's my least favorite thing to do. I used to love that shit when I was, you know,
too old.
in the craziness. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would so much rather just sit down and be like, this is the fucking problem. How are we going to fix it? And that's what a lot of people don't realize too. Like, whether it be couples or just regular friend arguments, sometimes it's like people will refuse to realize that it's me and you versus the problem, not me versus you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't this. Oh man, that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I could talk for 3 hours on
that. But that is dating now. And then I guess the argument now is the whole toxic side of things. It's like, no, just like people
think it's cute to be toxic. Like, it's talked about like it's a fucking, like it's cute.
No, I think that's my problem in dating, because as soon as I start seeing that toxicity, I'm far gone.
I'm out. Fuck it out.
Let's go have drinks, and then all of a sudden you're drinking like a fish, and it's like, what are you fucking fighting? Like,
or
what is
you're
going on?
Or you're doing this.
Yeah.
On the phone the whole fucking time. Like, dude, it would actually be kind of cool, except for this podcast thing. But I literally would probably have the best day of my fucking life if the internet just died.
Be careful what you wish for, because it could be on the horizon.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, this world is getting pretty wild.
So what are your gym goals?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Like, a couple years ago, I did a powerlifting competition, and that shit was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I was very dedicated and very focused. And honestly, back when I was powerlifting, that was probably the happiest and healthiest I've been at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, mentally happy, physically happy, spiritually well, physically very good, you know? And I don't know, there's just been a lot that's happened since that time of my life. Namely the two biggest things have been my little brother passed away and my grandmother passed away. And man, those things just knocked me down so far. Like, especially my little brother passed away first, and then my grandmother passed away not long after him. And I remember going to 4th Ave gym, and like, I loved being at the gym. I would stay there for 3-4 hours sometimes, just literally just working out and in my own little world inside of my headphones, you know? Also, if you're a neurodivergent, you got to check out those 8D songs. Them things are nice, especially in the gym, because it like hyper focuses you. Plus, then you're already working out your body, and it's like a mind, body, spiritual, soul stimulation. It's amazing. But I would love to do the powerlifting again. But I don't know if this is like an actual science thing, but I feel like when I work out, I get traumatic memories that come up or feelings, or I'll just start crying for no reason. And that's what just can continue to happen over and over and over at the gym. And I just felt like a fucking idiot crying at the gym all the time. And so I stopped going, and I took a huge break from that, for a good long while. And now I'm starting to get back into it and making it part of my daily routine. It's funny. I'll get mad at myself, like, cause I feel weak, and I'll look at myself in the mirror and be like, you fucking weak bitch. You used to pick up 300 pounds off the floor, and now I'm struggling doing hammer curls with 10 or 15s, and I'm just like, but the only person I can be mad at is myself. It's the only person I can be mad at because I chose that. Though I definitely could have gone to therapy or something to deal with those traumatic moments, but
Therapy is expensive.
yeah. Yeah. And I wish that I had someone like, I wish that I had the experience of being a customer to a hair person and not know what it feels like to be the person behind the chair, to be able to just zone out and get that done instead of like, because I've had hair disasters happen to like, even when I'm sitting down and getting my hair done, I feel like I have to be like, what are you doing to my hair? You know what I mean? Like, I'm watching you. And so, namely, I end up doing my hair myself all the time. Kara's been really helping me with that, but just having that relaxation and being able to just, I don't know, unwind is not something I get to do because I'm taking care of everybody else all the time.
I mean, I don't want to give therapy advice, but it's real good therapy.
But
Like actually sitting down with friends and talking. Because that's all therapy is.
yeah,
That's all therapy is. Like you're spending money for a stranger to tell you insights in your life, and then you have to explain everything, and then all the backstories with all the characters, and you could just go to one of your friends and be like, look, dude, I just need to talk for a little bit.
yeah. And see, I honestly, could I go home after work every day and let my dogs out and then go have dinner with friends, 2 or 3 times a week? I could, but that sounds exhausting, and I don't know. Oh man, this is real vulnerable. I don't know if that's truly like I would rather be at home, or if it's like, if I don't get close to you, you can't get close to me, and then I can't get hurt. Ha, I win. Does that make sense?
I 100%. I see that. My circle is real small, and I've lost so many people, whether it's being that I've moved or they've moved or they decided to end their story or whatever. I keep my circle small. That way I can't be penetrated.
I like the way you say that, and their story. That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
It's not such a negative connotation.
I mean, my
and
belief.
it's funny too because I have this little guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. There we go.
My thought process is everyone is here for a specific reason. A lot of times we find our purpose. We find the reason we need to be here. I could father the child that, takes us past Pluto.
Yeah.
Or I could influence someone to cure cancer.
Yeah.
I don't know what my purpose is.
Right.
But I know that right now, and where I'm sitting right now is probably the most that I felt that I've been needed.
Needed by who?
I just feel like I'm supposed to be doing this right now.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
And this could be a stepping stone to somewhere
my
else.
Hoops out.
But watch out, man. I know how you girls get when you take off the big hoops.
Just kidding.
But I feel like this is where I need to be right now. there's one person that I need to make sure they know that they are loved and they are cared for, and that we are better here.
There's somebody out there.
There's
Whoever
somebody.
you are, we love you.
It's all love.
You know, I remember years ago, I told you I was in recovery one time, and when I was first in recovery, I was all feelings and all biatch. But it was like that hero syndrome that I was telling you I have. Like, no, I can't get close to you, or something bad's gonna happen to me. But then on the flip side, I'm like, well, why does never anybody ever call me for nothing? Well, because I push myself away from people.
Because you wait for the ding to answer the text.
Yeah. But then the text will come in, and if I, you know, and I think it's because of what I do for a living, being behind that chair. And I think that this is one big thing that people that don't do hair, or they're not in the service business, like literally hands on someone service business. I don't think people understand, like, every vibe that you come in with, any energy you come in with, like, a lot of the time, because of what I try to stay grounded and in the moment and in my being when I'm doing hair, because when I'm soul centered and when I'm love centered, I give better haircuts. I have better results. I feel better throughout the day. But at the end of the day, I feel heavy. And so, you know, some of the things that I do to combat feeling so heavy is, and then also not only to combat not feeling so heavy, but we were talking about a little bit ago about your house looking crazy and your car looking crazy. And, you know, when it gets like that for me, that means you need to spend some time on your mental health, you know, spend some time with yourself. Let's get back into our routine, you know? And so recently I've really been applying, like I said, I get up early in the morning, and then I do my little affirmation to myself, and then I post it to share with the world, you know? And then I get up and I get my dogs ready, and we go for a walk and breathe in the fresh air and get the sun or rain or, you know, whatever it's been weird the last couple of days. Yeah. So, and then, I go home, I get ready for work. I go to work, I do my thing. As soon as I come home, I try not to do this, but sometimes it just happens, especially if I have a late night at the shop. I'll just come home and, you know, I'll make a sandwich or whatever, and then I'll just toss the plate in the sink or whatever. And then I just forget to wash it. Or my ADHD, if something, man, this is one thing I've learned recently. If something is not right in front of you, for a person with ADHD, we forget it's even there. It like doesn't exist, you know?
You just realized that?
Recently, yeah. I'm like, why do I always, like, I will just abandon things and not even think about the fact that I had it at any point. And then I'll find it and be like, oh my God, I didn't even know I still had this.
That's a like real thing.
That is so
That's
weird.
why it's important for people with ADHD to put their vegetables in the door of the refrigerator.
Yes, I do that. Thank you, TikTok.
Because we're going to forget that it's there.
And it works. I have not had a single vegetable or like perishable like that go bad since I've been doing that.
Yeah.
At all. It's wonderful. In the bins, the cubes in the bins. Another thing, big thing, put it down. Put it away. Don't put it down. You know what I mean? So, because, dude, like if this, not if this was like, if I had free reign of this house and I was just hanging out here, right? I promise you, I'd probably get distracted doing something. After we're done with all this, I'll get distracted. That bottle will sit there. But once it sits there, I don't know it exists. I forget about it completely. I could even walk in this room. If I don't look directly at that bottle, that shit doesn't exist. It's not in my reality, you know? And so I'll do that to myself sometimes with the dishes. And so to combat that recently, what I do is as soon as I get home, the first thing I do, grab my dog's leashes, let him out, go potty. Before I do anything else, I don't allow myself to take my shoes off or change out of my work clothes, which I usually want to get out of my work clothes because it's itchy, you know, and I have people's hair all over me or stains all over me or perm smell or whatever. And so I want to get out of my clothes, but I do not allow myself to get, you know, fully like comfy and ready for bed until my chores are done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Dishes, clean the bathroom, pick up the fucking laundry, and then, okay, now you can make food for yourself and do the extracurriculars if I feel like doing a face mask or taking a shower or whatever. But I don't get to get comfy until I get done with work, even if that work is like my home life, you know? Because if I don't keep that, it just has shown so prominently in my life. If my house is clean, my mental health is infinitely better. If my house is dirty, I feel crazy.
So what I do here, I mean,
because your house is fucking spotless, dude. My house does not look like his. It's gorgeous and so clean and organized, and there's not stuff everywhere. But my house is not.
Do you know why there's no stuff everywhere? Because I've made it a point to when I'm done using it, I put it away.
But do you have ADHD?
Yes.
Because how do you stand the walls being so bare? That's my problem.
Because
I love
I'm bad-
tapestries
I'm
and
bad at
colors
that.
and stuff and posters.
I'm fucking bad. The
You
original
don't
thought
like
was
that
I
stuff, or
it's not that I don't like it. It's every time I go to buy it, I'm like, and I
oh,
would
do I
something
really
else.
want it? Yeah,
And then I go do something else.
yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Like the original. First off, this room right here hasn't been used.
This room needs LED lights.
This room hasn't been used, and there are LED lights on the floor.
Oh, right there, I see them. Okay,
So
those are nice.
I just recently decided to, hey, we're gonna use this room. But
For this specifically?
for this specifically, the original thought was I wanted to put a TV in here and have this be like the movie room.
Uh-huh.
Close that up with curtains and just have a home away from home.
This house reminds me a lot of the houses. I think it's called Barkley Ranch, right in between Cibola and Centennial. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
I know where they are. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever been in there.
This to me looks like
The layout, the floor
yes,
plan.
layout, the floor plan. It looks a lot like those houses, but it's nicer because the ceilings are way higher, and it's better because it's quieter out here.
Yeah, it's nice and quiet out here.
It's beautiful. That probably helps you though too, just being not hearing like, oh my god, waking up at 2-3 in the morning because I'm down 24th Street.
I can hear stuff on the freeway from here,
That's so wild.
but
I
that's like when I'm in bed and there's like a crotch rocket. I'm like, shut up.
right, and it's just something, man. It's like all night in my house. I feel like I'm living by a train station or something. You know, it's like constant noise, and that I try not to let it irritate me. I've
Eventually,
been wearing headphones to sleep, so
oh wow! Eventually, it'll get to the point to where it just becomes background noise. You just
Yeah.
get used to it.
yeah. I've only been there for like a month and a half, so of course I'm not used to it yet, and it's so different from what I'm used to. I went from a 3-bedroom 2-bath the last 6 years to now I'm in a 1-bedroom 1-bath, and the reason being not that I can't, afford a nice big house. I could before all of this crazy shit, and I heard somebody say something like since the 70s, the price ratio between what you make and what it the cost of living has like jumped infinitely high, and I'll tell you this, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, before COVID, I lived in a 3-bedroom 2-bath condo for $950. And right now I live in a 1-bedroom 1-bath apartment for $850.
Damn.
And that's like, I don't even think it's been 4 years. Like, how did the cost of living get so, like, it's just skyrocketed? And it's like they're, I don't know, whoever they are price gouging people out of shelter.
So I have
And then
a
everything else.
theory, and I've heard that big corporations are buying single-family homes. That way, they turn people into forever renters.
Mm-hmm.
Vice.
In the better areas. Have you heard that? The whole gentrification stuff too. That doesn't really help. No, that is more of a big city, Phoenix, San Diego problem, I guess.
But the reason that I put this house right here specifically is because my ex-wife's house is right there. There's like
For
a
the
house.
boys?
So, and this is like far future when they get older. It's I have my house here. My brother has his house there, and their kids can play together.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I mean, the original thing
Far
was,
enough, but close enough.
yeah, the original thing was have the house here, and then the kids can just walk back and forth between house and house, or I can just walk around the corner to go pick them up on my days, or they can just go wherever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, they're old enough to the point where they can go wherever they want.
Yeah, that's true.
However, while building this, my ex-wife moved to Queen Creek for better money. But
Which, okay, good for her. Violated, deleted from this earth. You know what I mean? So how can the prisoners figure out where people belong? But out here, we call those same people a star, famous, the king of pop, a hero. You know, how are we listening? How is Michael Jackson? How has Michael Jackson not been canceled yet? I know, I get he's dead, but like, he touched kids. Like, why is he still on the radio? Why is he still anywhere? We canceled fucking Trump, and he ain't touched nobody.
so there's a
The whole internet canceled Trump, which is fucked up, by the way.
there's a
Super censorship.
something that I heard about the LGBTQ. I don't know the whole acronym. I'm sorry, but
It's a lot.
the plus.
Huh?
I heard the plus was they're gonna put a P in there.
Fuck you. No way. I've heard that too. But like,
But they want to.
we live in Arizona. It's a Wild West out here. You can come fuck around and find out, but I wouldn't if I were you.
They want to say that, hey, it's minor attracted people. I promise you this: if you touch my kids, that's the beating.
Bro, bye bye.
I'll risk it all.
Look, check
risk
it
it
out.
all.
There's a whole lot of desert out here, and I got a 4x4, and I know that motherfucking desert like the back of my hand. You know what I mean? I got friends on both sides of the tracks. Which one you want to fuck with? I mean, we'll fuck you up and then turn you in.
So, what do you think about the whole Diddy thing?
I haven't really.
That's not even.
Hold on, remind me.
So, apparently, Diddy's been diddling. Like he's been diddling.
He created
like
that
adults.
for
Well, I
himself.
don't want to say just adults because I supposedly he diddled Usher when he was a young kid also.
Ooh, son of a bitch. So he doesn't. Is he only boys, or just young people, or he just likes to touch people who don't want to be touched?
There was a girl that he was dating for a while, but he was also prostituting her out and getting them addicted to drugs, and then like making them do things.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. Like when you, I mean, I don't know what it is, what it's like to be rich and famous and have all the money and all the opportunity and all the everything I could ever want or wish for, right? If I had all of that, what would I want? You know, would it get boring after a while? Is that what it is? Like they have everything and so it's just boring. Like, and I think about it like when, like I started drinking when I was really, really young and I was an alcoholic by the time I was 18 or 19, for sure. Like I was drinking at least every weekend, getting fucking blackout drunk every single weekend at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, you know? And so what if I had, that's where I was going with that. When I turned 21 and I was allowed to go to the bars, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I've been doing this. Like that's real. It's not that all that exciting. Not only was I drinking, but in a small town, you can be a pretty girl and you don't have to show your ID. You just get in. You know what I mean? Or you have, like me, I was like the fat funny friend and Katie was always the hot one. So if she wanted to go to the bar, I would just help her dress really nice and look really nice. And then we could go and they would look at our boobs and let us in. You know what I mean? So it didn't matter what age we were. We always got in. And if not, we went down to Mexico. Because you could drink whatever down there, you know, and there was strip clubs open and all that sort of stuff. But my point is, I experienced all that so young. So when it became time that it was legal, it was like, I don't fucking care. Like, I've already had this experience. I don't give a shit if I can go to a bar. You know, I'm just excited that I can go to Walmart and buy myself a bottle of wine and go home. You know, and so I mean, it would be in like extreme circumstances, but is that what happens to them? Like they just have done it all. And so like, let's do something that's completely outrageous. Maybe that'll be exciting. I don't know. That's just like me sort of trying to halfway the thought process that goes on, but I don't know.
I mean, I
Where
see
does it
where you're
start?
coming from. I see where you're coming from.
Look at Britney Spears. Look at
She's
fucking
fucked.
what's that fucking girl from Scrooge. What's the show he was on? Not Scrooge. Not Scrooge. Oh my god, my fucking. It's the show that I think it was like from like the mid 90s, maybe late 80s, and it had the kids in high school. Screech.
Screech.
Uh-huh.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. Okay, the girl in there, the white girl with the big boobs and the pretty blonde hair. You remember her? I can't remember what her name was.
Jessica or Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly
So they did a
Kapowski.
documentary on her that like basically told what she had to put up with growing up. And man, if you haven't watched that one, you should watch that one too. I think it's like growing up 90s or something like that. But it explains like how the men in the industry treated her and what those girls that are coming up in that industry have to do. You know, look at much love, and I don't want to talk shit about this, but look at Doja Cat. She's like, is this really how she thinks? Has she lost her mind, or do these people need mental health? Like, look at Britney Spears. That girl, she used to be like the hottest, best dancer, best singer ever. And now she looks like a fucking tweaker that should be on 8th Street. And I don't mean that to, like,
I've seen her
legitimately,
Instagram.
for years now, I have been
And her
legitimately
teeth are always
concerned.
different. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you for fucking pointing that out. Now I can't unsee it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
One minute her teeth don't have gaps,
Yeah,
and the next they have
Thank
gaps.
you.
I don't know
Thank you.
if she has like the little push-on ones.
AI,
It's
well,
weird.
this is the thing. Is that even her? Or is it AI making somebody else look like her? Because I've seen videos myself where it literally looks like, not the whole photo, but there's been a couple of them, and I model, so I can spot Photoshop from a fucking mile away, you know? And so I've been like, that looks like someone cut her body out and stuck it into this photo. Not only that, but her collarbone looks different quite often. Her tattoos are different every once in a while. Her hip bones are different every once in a while. Like her body structure. Sometimes in videos, I'll see she has a little bit of an hourglass shape, and some of them she looks completely square. I get that's angles, but also like you're dancing around, you should be able to see like
The movement.
yeah, and her body looks different. And not only that, but dude, she used to be like the pop star. Like, do you remember when she came down in that music video on the thing that she was like pretending she was on Mars or something, you know? And then she had all that like super good choreography. And now homegirl's like,
Well, so hold on, time out. In her defense, there was choreography, and now there's just correct headery. I don't know what
but
it is.
that's the thing, is
she's
nobody's
on
calling
something.
that.
She's on something.
Is it on drugs? And so who's putting that on her? And who is this fucking husband that she has? He looks like some fucking weird, like, oil money guy. Where did he come from? How did they meet? And how, like, she went from directly being under her dad's control and all of that to marrying this guy that nobody knows? It's so strange. And the husband also, he looks different in quite a lot of different things. So I don't know if it's actually one guy. And where's this house she's living in? And why is she doing OnlyFans content on Instagram?
The funny thing about that is, like, I know people who complain about like just putting up a regular picture in a bikini and getting flagged inappropriate.
Oh, it fucking irritates the dog shit out of me when that happens.
I'm gonna start sending you all the stupid stuff that I see on Instagram. And it's like, yo, how is this on Instagram?
There was a girl, I am not even joking you, and you know what? I love booty, so
Same.
this is not this is not to talk shit. But like I literally saw this girl, like if this is this is the screen, right? Her ass was the only thing on the screen in like the smallest little thong I've ever seen. But I can't even take, like, obviously I'm naked, right? But you can't see my butt crack. Like a photo where you just, like, if I'm laying down on my bed, you know what I mean? And I have my blanket over me, flag right away. Look, there's people twerking with their booty hole in front of the camera and you don't want to say nothing to them?
I don't know.
But I can't share a boudoir photo. It's fucking strange.
I don't know. Before we go, what do you have coming up in the near future? You got bike rides? What you got going on?
So next weekend, well, actually tomorrow is, I don't know if I said anything earlier. I sponsor the rodeo, the Silver Spur Rodeo here in town, through my business, Divine Instincts Hair Studio. Go follow us on Instagram. And then, so Horseman's Banquet is tomorrow, and that's just basically where the committee takes a good couple hours to thank the sponsors, and then we get all our stuff for rodeo, all our tickets, our thank yous, our program book, all of that. And then next weekend, Friday through Sunday, is rodeo at Yuma County Fairgrounds. And honestly, I pay for those tickets to get fucked up all weekend and look at cowboy butts and cowgirl butts all weekend. That's all I do at the rodeo. And then I talk about my business, but it's free liquor.
Free liquor?
I'm not even fucking joking.
Well, hold up. Like, how many tickets do you got? Because I like free.
I get two. I like free shit.
I mean,
I get two VIP ticket. Well, this is how it was last year. I get 2 VIP tickets for every day, and then I get 6 tickets to be used throughout the whole weekend, however I want, like regular to like give out to people. But yeah, the 2 VIP tickets comes with free. Oh, you know what? Beer is free. Liquor is like $1 or $2 per drink, but it's like, dude, last year we had like a really good, like an aged Jack Daniels. That was good, and we didn't pay for it.
That sounds good.
It was nice.
I like normally when all this stuff happens here in town, I don't do shit.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, this is the first time I'm telling this on any social media, so it may come out first here.
It might happen in a week or two.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
So I haven't talked about this on any of my social medias, but there is the first annual Yuma Tattoo Fest and Car Show is going to be here the last weekend of March, the 22nd through the 24th. And I was gratefully and humbly asked by Rollin' Old School. That's a combo of my friend Manuel and my friend Vanya, who they are a couple. They're amazing. She's a model and he's a tattoo artist. And also a business owner. But they asked me, of all the people in Yuma, to be the official barber for the whole event. So Divine Instincts Hair Studio, Miss Samantha Hope will be there all weekend cutting hair. So it's going to be awesome. And that's the last weekend of March. So other than that, I don't really know what I've got. Oh, Blythe, February 18th, I'm going over to Blythe, California to ride bikes with a couple hundred people. It's called the Goon Tour. I'm excited about that. I don't know how many people are going with us, but I invited a couple people. I'm going to get an Airbnb and I'm going to invite people. If they want to stay, cool. If they don't, I'm going to have the Airbnb to myself all weekend. Other than that, I really want to go to Virginia in the summertime to visit my friend Jackie. I would love to see my family, but you know, like I said, with those ticket prices, I am not sure about all that. And abundance, lots and lots and lots of abundance and growth. That's what this year is the year for like figuring out what I want my next 30 years to look like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like not fixing, but finding out who I am and what I truly want without the filters of everybody else's voices.
So I want to give you this. When I was in Iraq my first time, everyone was like, "Oh, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service." And it was too much.
I've heard that.
To have the entire country like on your back. So just bring it in. Just bring it in. Tighten it up. Everything that you want to do, it's for the people that you know. It's for that smaller.
I see what you're saying.
That smaller group. Because like throwing a lot on your shoulders, it just makes everything overwhelming.
Yeah,
Just
that's true.
bring it in.
Me, I get overstimulated fast. And when I get overstimulated, I get mad, angry,
but
I'm frustrated. And there's one thing that, you know how they say, be the change you want to see in the world? And most people, I feel like they need to like be the change. Okay, well, I need to go out and I need to have this big fundraiser and I need to do this and I need to do that. And like, just for me, it's like, okay, what can I do from where I'm at right now? And for me, part of that is sharing my daily affirmations in the morning. Like, I don't know who gets up in the morning and maybe those affirmations really aren't for me. Maybe there's somebody on my feed every day that needs to see those, that pushes, that helps to just get through the day, like no matter what, when I am dead and gone off of this earth, I hope that people look back on me and they're like, that lady loved hard. That lady gave love and gave, kindness and forgiveness, like before she even thought about anything else. You know what I mean? Like, that's the legend I want to leave. I want to lead a legend of love. That's it. And if people don't fucking remember my name, I don't care. Like, as long as I can positively help anybody, it doesn't have to be, one person, 10 people, 100 people. I want my struggles and my time here to matter and to mean something and to really like, to help. Maybe not, the entire universe, but check it out, dude. Like, if like I've changed ginormously from who I've been, and I know that the woman I am now, I can't even identify with who I used to be. But I needed that me to be who I am now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then so, like, for me, my one goal, especially just because of what I kind of said that I went through earlier, like, my one goal as an adult woman with a big voice and a big attitude is to be the woman that I needed when I was a kid, And so when I need to talk shit to people, like I said, when people are doing weird shit, saying weird stuff, being weird, when there's, little kids, especially younger females around me that feel uncomfortable around men or around certain people, I call that shit out. I'm like, yo, you're being weird. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And a lot of people want to be like, oh, well, that's just how it is. And I cannot. That's being a weirdo to a child is black or white. You don't get a fucking second chance on that one. You know what I mean? So, and I think that I'm pretty successful at being the woman that I would have needed as a kid. And not only that, but I have friends that have told me that too. Like, you have changed ginormously and we are so proud of you. My mom says that. My dad says that to me, and that's what matters, for my struggles to have meant something to somebody and to see that it can happen. You can get better. You can recover. Not only recover, but like become someone better and truly love yourself, man. Because at that time, I didn't love myself. I didn't love anybody, much less myself. So I don't know. I thank you for doing this. Appreciate you.
Well, just know that if you ever need a safe place, this is it.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome here whenever. Been friends for a while now.
Yeah.
If you need anything, let me know. I have thought about saying, hey, this is my girlfriend. Let's go see the barber that I used to do that hooked up my beard.
Yeah.
I need you to teach my girlfriend everything. So we can look up.
So smart.
But I don't even know where he's at anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
He's like in Tempe or something. But like I said, if ever you need anything, I got a room.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to stay. You are loved.
That's how my shop is too. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like, even if, I tell people this all the time, if you need a safe place to just for a second, like my shop is the place to go. I told you, my property manager does that all the time.
Yeah.
A couple times she's walked in and been like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. And so she'll sit down. I'll put a little bit of music that I know helps. Put that shit on. And she'll sit there for 15 minutes on the couch with her sunglasses on like this. And then, 15 or 20 minutes later, she'll get up and she's like, thank you. I appreciate you. And then I'll give her a hug and on your way. Yeah. Have a good day.
Get back in the game, buddy. Get back in the game.
Flip your day like a pancake. Yep. It doesn't have to just because it started bad doesn't mean it has to stay bad. Flip your day like a pancake. Man, I left my donuts at work. Boo.
Well,
I'll have to stop by there and get my donuts.
Well, I'm going to end it here. However, share this video, like it, comment. I love you all. If you need any help, 988 is the number that you guys need to call. It's a suicide hotline. Know that you are better here. Let me rephrase that. Know that you are loved here and you will be missed. I know a lot of people who have in the past just decided to cut their story short and not even reach out. Mm-hmm. It's that day is over. Give us a call. The amount of questions that happens, like, hey, I could have did this, that happens in like the people who are left behind. Mm-hmm. Just give us the opportunity to keep you here a little bit longer, because you could be the reason that I'm still here.
Oh,
I love you.
That was good.
Oh.